I too have the power of a god.
I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA.
神羅転生
I was born in this world, and perform like this will shout you one new weapon. I know you meditated on your purpose. This that is the better. This that I got loyalty, got loyalty inside my DNA. I got peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA.
いい加減おとなしく切られやがれ
I was born in this world, and immaculate conception. I perform like this will shout you one new weapon. I know you meditated on your purpose. This that is the better. This that I got loyalty.
キレキン穴があったら入りたい
Loyalty inside my DNA.
Woo! That is an opening. Welcome back to Anime Court, where we are live today. We have a brand new case coming at you live with our plaintiff, Miss Tioni.
What's up?
How you doing on this fine Mother's Day?
I am doing wonderful, and I believe you all should wish me a very happy Mother's Day because I am a cat mom.
Oh,
To do
happy
it.
Mother's Day.
Thank you. Mikey?
And happy Mother's Day to all the
Mother's
moms
Day.
out there that are watching, taking the time to be out here
Yes.
with us.
And happy Mother's Day to all the moms in the trap house because you guys are amazing.
All the
We
moms,
love
we
you.
love you guys.
Moms in different forms. So we appreciate you all.
Yeah.
Moms of all kinds.
Speaking of guys who love moms, Mikey, how you feeling today? How's your
Man,
Mother's Day going?
man, I don't. It's going great. I didn't have a rebuttal for that at all because now I just, yeah, I
Got to
love
put him
moms.
on the spot. I know what he like. I've seen his browser history. I've been
I'd
up in
rather
there.
not, but let's just.
Mhm. Take a sip.
Watch him drink. Watch him drink to cover
Oh
himself.
man, sorry, I'm still out of breath. I had to go get my cup. I had to get a cup of ice. It was stuck, so I was like shaking it. I'm glad to hear. Happy Mother's Day, guys. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day!
Happy Mother's Day. But we aren't here for good mothers today. It is me, Judge Maul. Normally, I'm plaintiff, sometimes defendant, because these niggas be having me fucked up. But if you watched our last episode of The Trap House, I lost. I took my L gracefully. Big Mom should have been on trial for all her crimes. She did not escape trial. She just evaded that day. We gonna have to run that back. She definitely need to have her day in court. However, this ain't about me. This is about Ren Soma. And Ren Soma won our tournament for Worst Mom. You all voted. We held the tournament. It was a real fun time. And Miss T only won. So now we have Ren Soma here on trial for the crimes of, give me a second to read this off. I had a good friend of mine, my bailiff, write this down. You know, Bailiff Brawley. He be in the back eating donuts and shit. Psychological abuse, child abuse, attempted extortion, attempted murder. Now, those are some very heavy crimes for a young woman.
She's like 40. I'm gonna defend her
This
already.
young mom seems like
Okay.
she's been around the block. She's done some shit.
Sorry, Judge. She takes care of herself. Make sure to defend her.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you know, it's hard for me on Mother's Day to see these list of crimes and assume innocence or guilty. Psychological abuse, you have to prove that to me. Child abuse, you got to show me some wounds. Attempted extortion, show me some text messages. Attempted murder, whoa, now that's a big one. So I'm gonna open it to you. I'm gonna put 5 minutes on the clock. Miss Tioni, give me 1 second. Let me put a timer on my watch. Let me know when you're ready for your 5 minutes. We get this opening argument up and started. Oh, she got the ponytail up now.
Yeah, let me find my hair tie. Actually, I ain't got it. So I am ready.
All right. 5 minutes starting now. Let's get it.
So we are going to be talking about Ren Soma here. Ren Soma is the mother of Akito Soma. They are part of the Soma family that have a very interesting background. Ren Soma is the mother of Akito Soma who has abused her child. Literally, her favorite hobby is abusing her child. She gets joy out of that. Ren Soma is also have been charged with attempted murder because she has tried to kill her child. She has raised her child to be a male when she was born a female, and this was because Akito, her child, was the god of the Soma family, which means all the zodiac signs, all 13 of them, including Mr. Kyo here himself, the cat, that they all love the god, that they are all attracted to this god. But the things that Ren Soma did to her own child as soon as she knew that it was going to be born a female are horrendous. She does not deserve to be defended that Mr. Mikey over here is doing. She does not deserve to be called a mother. Now, what I will say is that her coming to Akira, her husband, the father of Akito, loving him and seeing him as not as just the head of the family, but as a person, is very sweet. But this does not change the fact that she abused her child, gave such psychological damage to her own flesh and blood just because they were born as the god of the Soma family. Ren Soma deserves to be charged, deserves to be, dare I say, put to death due to the things that she has done, which we will get more into further into court. But I will say this. Ren Soma did not deserve to be a mother. Ren Soma did not deserve to be a maid in the Soma family. And honestly, she does not deserve to be a person at all. She is the scum of the earth, and that is where I will close my opening statement.
All right. Now there were some very strong things said in there. She made a very, very damning case. She said her opening piece, she spoke from the heart. And I believe that she believes that this person's a piece of shit. So, Mikey, you want to do a good job of, defending a person that she called a piece of shit. I mean, let me know when you're ready.
One moment here, sir. One moment.
All right.
I'm letting my client know that she's being just thrown out of her name, first and foremost.
Out of her name. There are witnesses, Mr. Mikey, to her abuse, to everything that she has done. But you may.
Yep, I am ready.
All right. 5 minutes on the clock. Let's go.
Ren Soma, mother, loving wife, an overall support pillar to the Soma family. Am I right or wrong? I am right, of course. To hear these words with her trying her best to raise her child the way that her child needed to be raised to survive this tough world, it was the only way she could think of. For her husband, late husband, might I add, who she loved dearly more than anything in her whole entire life. These slanderous words, I cannot listen to these things from my client. It's just terrible. There's plenty of times where she has done great. I mean, she had the child, yes. And she fed the child, of course. If she did nothing and it was just as terrible as you say, then how could any of this happen? How is any of this happening if she was already a terrible person? I want to believe, I want everybody else to believe that she's actually a great mom deep down. She's just stern, hard on the outside, but soft nougat on the inside, you know? I say that my client has done none of these things to deserve any of these crimes and should just be. I want to countersue almost, but I won't because this is not my case. This is her case, and I am only defending my client. And that's all I can say for my opening argument. It was short, but it was sweet.
Solid.
Of course, he wouldn't be.
So I've heard two cases, one even including a counter, almost wasn't a counterclaim. I mean, he could have you on defamation alone. Like, however,
Judge,
we are not in court for this. We are in court because she is supposedly the worst mom in anime. Now, I've seen some shitty things. I am a fan of, God, I can't think of the anime name. I forget it every time. But it was a scene in an anime where the little girl was trapped. There was a fire in a plant house. And the mom goes and she sees her and she's calling out and she's like, Mom, Mom. And the mom runs off with the plant. And the banister falls and kills the mom instantly.
I
She
have
dies
seen
trying to
Judge.
rescue the plant instead of the little girl.
Which was deserving as a bad mother. That was just karma getting back at her.
Correct.
Super karma.
Karma.
And that's how you love to see it. I also love to see the redemption and the final scenes of. Actually, I'm not even going to go into that one. I'm just going to say that a bad mom was in The Promised Neverland. Finding out at the end of season 1 that she was actually Ray's mom and not just a mother as like she was portrayed to be. Because finding out you're the mother who sold the kids into actual being eaten by alien was terrible. But beyond that, Ren Soma, emotional abuse. What you got, T?
Judge Maul, what I would like to bring up is the fact that you did just say about the Promised Neverland's mom.
Isabella, yes.
Yes. Sir, do you understand that this woman, as far as psychological trauma that she has caused her child, that the child was originally born a female, but the only reason that Ren Soma, Akira Soma, Shuryurin Soma, and 3 others knew the only actual identity of Akito was because Ren Soma was in fear that Akira would love Akito more than her. She feared that her baby girl would take the affection of her own father, which, Judge Maul, you being a father yourself, I don't believe that you love your child. I mean, you may, but I don't believe there's a point that it clouds your judgment that you are going to tell your child when the father that they have grown up to love and be with died and told them that it is their fault. Told them that now, because that their father is dead, that none of the other Zodiacs will actually truly love them, that they will begin to leave them just like her father did. Only because your client, Mr. Mikey, was upset that no one came and got her. Out of all the people in the Soma family, no one came and got her when her husband died. Well, they truly saw who she was. An evil, conniving, psychologically abusing person.
Judge, I'd like to say she's really coming at my client, and I don't think this should be words of a lawyer to insult such a person.
Sir, what you don't understand here is that I am representing my own client, which is Akito Soma, the daughter of your client. I am representing the other Somas that because of Ren's diabolical trauma, the psychological damage, the things that she has done blatantly in front of other people, to the fact that even the maids knew what she was doing to her own child, that she don't care. She do not care. She caused almost, I wouldn't say everything, but caused the spark of what has happened to the decay of the Soma family. And if it was not for Toru Honda herself coming to the aid of the Soma family, Ren Soma's deception and lies, and just, I will say, just venom caused everything. I mean, Mr. Mikey, how can you represent your client knowing that before we even came to court, that Akito tried to reach out to your client to try and have some type of bonding, to try and have some type of closure, and your client decided to just deny and deny and deny again? I'm done.
Well, she made a pretty strong case against emotional abuse. Mikey, what you got against it?
Of course. Let's start with some things. We're going to go in reverse of that. You said that your client, Akito, came to sort of just dismiss everything to lead a better life with her mother, right?
What Akito did was try to come to terms after Toru Honda herself showed her the right ways, that everything was okay. Basically, a healing element to the zodiac of the Soma family. Akito did try reaching out to your client, but your client was not receptive. Did not reach out to try and have any closure here.
Could it be because your client threatened her life with a knife, not once, maybe not even twice, but threatened her life?
What my client has done, what my client did, was in defense to everything that was harboring at her, Miss Ren Soma.
Was it defense at a young age, or was it playing?
Well, it was Judge, I could see it. I'm pretty sure in the times that were happening, they were talking. And as words do cut deeper than a knife can cut straight into the heart. And I can see that. And I've seen it twice. Now, maybe some people are more sensitive. I, for one, am a very sensitive person. But, I would not use a knife to, you know what? I think my client has wasn't this the murder weapon right here? This is the attempted murder weapon, I should say, from your client?
That is not evidence that has been brought into court, that has not been seen by my side as well, sir. Has been brought up. I don't even believe the judge even was aware that you even had the attempted murder weapon that my client used on her own mother.
With her fingerprints, by the way. With her fingerprints. Now let's just skip over that, because that's for another time. You said you were talking about her being upset, and my client blaming her and being upset with her. How is that possible? The husband, late husband, by the way, loved your child and my client equally, so much so as she being the proof of their love. How could my client as a mother not see that? It's just impossible to me. It doesn't make any sense, honestly, unless, of course,
possible to me too. But
of course. Oh, I mean, you spoke with the family too, obviously not regarding her. Now, I've gotten all this information, and I think that, and I want you to know, my client suffers from a mental instability. And the family did not bother to even help her, by the way. My client has done nothing wrong. She's only acting as she can act, because there's no one in the family that will actually have her back, not even her own child. So for real, I have to say, maybe the psychological abuse was on my client rather than Akito.
Oh, snap.
Mr. Mikey, are you actually saying that my client Akito is the one that caused the pain and damage to Ren Soma?
I think what you meant to say was...
I can't be for sure, but I can say that Akito has been around a lot in the physical abuse part.
Your client started this as soon as she knew what the gender of her child was in her belly. This was premeditated attempts of psychological abuse, attempted murder. She knew everything as soon as she found out the gender of her child. So please explain to me why your client is quote unquote the victim here.
She was ostracized. Oh, ostracized from the family. Actually,
I don't believe so. I mean, when you become a maid from the family and somehow raise up to marry the most king god of the family, I mean, I can understand. I can completely understand that she
yes.
was a maid. She got, she did her thing. Hey, go on.
Biggest promotion of her life, I have to say. Biggest promotion.
Absolutely, because she saw Akira as a person and not just as the head of the family. Did not see him as a pillar. I agree with that. However, your client was not just happy with that fact. She had to change her child's mindset and warp them to believing that everyone in their life will never love them. She has physically harmed her child.
Say that. Did you? Sorry, I was just word with my client for a second. I can't say for sure because I wasn't there, but it sounds like he said, she said.
I would like to go ahead and bring up my first witness as a maid, and if we had the video proof, we do, of Ren Soma abusing her child in front of maids to the point that the maids did not care for my client, Akito Soma.
Who am I defending?
Well, in the black community,
sir.
when someone's getting their ass whooped, we usually turn the blind eye too.
That is true.
I don't want no
the
piece of that
family.
either.
However, there are proof, there are witnesses, there are multiple witnesses that knew what was happening. Now, the Soma family is not on trial. That is for another day, because everyone who had the Soma last name, everyone who was hired by the Soma family knew what was happening. And because of what Ren Soma did to her child, Akito grew up in a very warped mindset where he was ready to kill another witness here, Toro Honda, who was just a human girl who lost both her parents and tried to love the 13th Zodiac. But I'm sorry, Mr. Mikey, your client is the victim here because of what her child did to her.
I'd like to go ahead into the next crime of that she did. I don't think I have anything for this. I believe that there's nothing that I can do to say more.
Are you pleading guilty for your client in the charge of psychological trauma?
Absolutely not. In fact, I can think of her being as a maid in the family to be treated completely terrible to begin with.
None of the maids, I don't believe, sir, that you have. No, sir. You don't have any proof that any of the maids in the Soma family was treated wrong. The only thing that any of the females in the family could not do was touch an heir to the Zodiac name. Because if they were opposite sex, that would form that Zodiac to turn into that sign. So if, for example, here we have Yuki Soma was touched by the opposite sex, he would turn into the mouse because he is the rat of the Zodiac family. So, of course, the maids had to be more careful with coming in contact with them. But, yes, let's go on to the next charge, Judge Mall.
All right. So our next charge is
You're getting
child
your ass
abuse.
whooped. I hope you know.
I wasn't paid for this one. This was a freebie case.
Which
you took it
was
pro
already
bono,
proven,
and that was
so
a no-no.
We're going to move on to attempted extortion. And we'll leave off at attempted murder, seeing as both of you have a case saying that one attempted the other.
Bagoosh. It's my lawyer thing.
So let's get to attempted extortion. What you got for me?
Well, the extortion of the Soma family. I will say this. I said it in my opening statement here that the Soma family is based off the 13 zodiacs in the Chinese mythological thing. Here, my wording is off. Sorry, but the god was the original one being who found all these different animals that came to love him and be a part of him. And he loved this attention and affection so much, he made it so that all of them were cursed to come back to him. They were always drawn to him in one way or another. They were drawn to this man or this female, in this case, Mr. Mikey. They were all drawn to this one person, and that is because of the Soma curse, which is the zodiac curse, because this god originally had them so that even though they went away, because they all came for a party one night, and because they all left, the god was upset. So he cursed them all to always be drawn to him and turn into the zodiac that they are assigned to. Now, what Ren Soma knew, anyone who worked for the Soma family knew of the curse. They knew what would happen. If it's the opposite sex, you marry into the Soma family, you know that your child will carry on that lineage of curse. The maid Ren Soma absolutely knew who Akira Soma was. Everyone knew who Akira Soma was. He was the god of the family, which means all the zodiacs would be drawn to him, which means he is the richest, he is the most powerful, he is the one you want to get close to. And then being a maid in that just makes it as a bonus. But being able to fall in love with them and have their kid, honey, that's money. And that is what Ren Soma saw. The extortion charge of this comes in the case of her child, because her child was born, he became the god of the next generation. Ren Soma used this to her advantage. If she did not have this child, then what would she be doing? She didn't go after any of the other zodiacs in the family. She went for the god. She was just a maid of the Soma family, which means she was a part of every single zodiac one. But she chose the god. So she chose the most powerful one. Again, go girl power. You decide to look over the pillar and love the man as he is. But
City Girls that one.
So, your client, Mr. Mikey, for the charge of extortion, I believe that it is, because I started getting winded here. Your client extorted her own son, to be this powerful being because she knew what it meant to be the god of the Somas. She knew what it came behind, what the word would mean, and what it would mean for her as a mom. Now, she does not deserve this title. But because she gave birth to Akito, she is a mom, sadly. Your turn, Mr. Mikey.
This extortion. How can you be so open about her, obviously being a maid and just saying she was only doing it for the money? Did the late husband not love her?
They made a baby.
Did she not love him?
I don't believe you need to be in love to make a baby.
Of course not. You do not. You don't.
You indeed don't.
But this baby came from the proof of their love. Stated by him, actually, that he was glad that they were having this baby as proof of their love because they love each other so much. How could somebody who really just loves the other person, which, by the way, it seems as because she's so crazy and jealous with love of the husband, I mean, there's no other reason as to why she would do this, right?
Listen, Akira can be put at trial next month because he was not a good father in this instance. But continue.
We're saving that for Shao Tucker, and we know why. I
don't know. Was Shao Tucker a bad dad, or did he do a bad thing?
Yes.
We'll get into that.
Because
there's a difference between being a bad dad and having bad intentions.
Judge, can we focus on the case?
We'll come back to that. That's just a little teaser. But I'm just saying, one bad action does not always make you a bad dad.
I know what, I'll agree to that. I'll say one bad action doesn't even make you a terrible mother. I will
But
say
it does. In
the
this
one
case.
time.
One time, there were multiple times,
I'm
sir.
only
We have
focusing on the
witnesses.
extortion part, of course. I mean, sure. Of course, I can't say that it isn't just an upgrade just to go into the family. From maid to housewife of like the god. Of course, it's amazing. You know what? I'm not gonna knock nobody's steez. You know what I'm saying? Like that's congratulations. But I don't believe that it was in a way to extort anybody else. I believe that she truly did fall in love with Akira, and it's just how that happened. I mean, they obviously consummated their love and had a child from the proof of their love. Maybe she didn't understand it because of her own complications, but I do honestly believe that was it. And maybe, and I know it seems really messed up anyway. And it just feels like words from her, but maybe she wanted Akito to be a boy to remind her of the love that she carried from her husband.
There is already a witness statement saying that she did not want her child to be born a female because she was afraid that the female child would steal her love from Akira. But continue.
That's some really weird shit. But you know what? That's completely neither here nor there. I do believe that there is nothing she actually did to extort the family. I believe that she was there at the right place at the right time.
Okay.
I could see that. I mean, I feel like a lot of times when you come into marriage, you don't know necessarily. Like Princess Kate was chosen, and she wasn't rich before she was chosen to be a princess. She was a normal girl. Like,
Real
was
quick,
she
who's Princess Kate?
Kate Middleton?
Oh, that bitch? Nah, fuck her. But let's focus on the fact that she was a maid in the family, which I do not believe I have the information of how long she was a maid, but she possibly grew up in the family, but started this job. Now, but I will say this, I can't say how long she was doing it, but anyone a part of the Soma family, working or not, knew of the curse and was paid. So she knew.
I mean, so
Because
she
they
definitely
had
knew
to
what
know.
she was getting herself into. And she also knew that she was going to have the head of the house, the head of the family. However, if her child was going to be the next head in line, wouldn't it just make sense that her husband would fall in love like the same curse? Or am I getting that wrong?
No, Judge, I will drop you some information here. Even if it's an arranged marriage or you fall in love, if they have the last name Soma, they are part of the cursed family. So
the
matter
the curse would affect the dad too, right?
correct. So you
Why
could
doesn't the
have two
curse affect the
children
mom then?
because the mom is.
It's
It
the
could
way.
be either the female Soma, either it's a female Soma or a male Soma. If they bring an outsider into it, which they have done multiple times, normally in this case, just like in Ren Soma, the mom does not care for the child. Especially if they have more than one child, they go for the more human child that did not get affected by the curse. In the case of, I cannot remember his name, but he is the bunny of the zodiac. He has a sister and a mom who completely forgot that they existed because she was not happy that her child was born as a zodiac.
You want to
And
be
I will just say this: all the moms in the Soma family are bad moms.
Well, why are we focusing on this one? If there's others that are just as
Because of what she did. Because of what she did that affected the new generation. Do you want to get into that?
No. Don't think I'm getting paid enough for that one.
You're obviously not, Mr. Mikey, because your client here is not giving you the right information.
I think she might be a little crazy, but I also think that because she's a little crazy, in a time where she could have gotten help from the family to make her feel, to get her more acclimated and fix any problems, they did not show any extortion. Maybe they were extorting her from being able to get the help. I mean, this is a modern time family, obviously. 2019, by the way. So I don't see why they couldn't have gotten her the help that she needed. They're a prestigious and rich family. She was married to the god here. what's going on here? I don't understand.
I agree. However,
I mean, yeah, mental health is important, and if you're struggling with your mental health out there, just remember, get some help. Like, there's always
ask a
something.
friend,
There are,
ask a family
uh,
member, reach
Yeah,
out.
me, for real, talk to
yeah,
me.
reach out to a family member, reach out to a friend, reach out to someone, let someone know, hey, I'm not feeling so hot. Like,
Mhm.
talk to someone. Shit, if
Talk
you
to
need
your
a friend,
friends that are down.
yeah, hit me up if you are my actual friend. Otherwise,
Don't hit me
don't
up
hit
because
me
I'll
up if you
forget
are a
the
stranger.
message. Nah, I'm gonna forget you messaged me and think I responded, and then days and weeks go by, and I'm like, damn, I did not respond, and then it feels awkward to respond at that moment. But
Yeah,
I'll
that's me.
try.
Because I'll look at your message and forget that I didn't reply and reply in my
Hmm.
head and be like, oh shit, I never said anything.
And then
I'm
like later on, you think you're having a full conversation, and it's like, no, you never responded.
You've never
honestly,
responded.
I'll have it
And
all
then
written
Brittany's
down
like, have
and
you
just never
spoken to
try to do it.
Mikey? Nah, baby. I thought, yeah, I talked to him. And Mikey's like, nigga, you haven't talked to me in 3 days. I text you.
To be
Oh
fair,
shit, that never went through. Got
I
it.
don't
My
even send the
bad.
messages.
Yeah.
Like I'll have it typed up and just forget to send the entire message. And that's on me. But I just know I thought of you, and if you just press on it, and I will look back. Send me
Yeah,
2 messages in a
I
row.
forget every time.
Exactly.
I blame the weed. And like it be beating my ass most
Yeah.
days.
I don't even blame
So
the weed. I just blame my mind.
Yeah, I think I'm just gone.
yeah,
Yeah.
speaking of beating ass, we're gonna get to the main event, and I think it's going to be an interesting one because this allegation has been alleged on both ends. And I mean, from what I've been told, all the video footage would only prove that uh Aikido,
Akita.
Aikido had snapped due to the emotional stress that they were under. Which
That
again,
is
if
correct,
you
Judge.
hmm?
That is correct, Judge.
Yeah, and I'm to take it that Ren also tried to kill Akito.
Absolutely.
That is correct, Judge. Now, I would like to have a picture blown up of the accused here, if that is all right, so that the jury and everyone can just see who we are speaking of. That is wonderful for my case, but not for yours, Mr. Mikey.
That's all I
Because
got.
like you can see here, we got two witnesses in the back and a strange looking face on your client.
She was just surprised by them showing up. I mean, look at their
I
face.
do not believe so. At this
Obviously.
moment, she was abusing her child.
Or maybe
Attempting
she was
to.
getting abused.
No, see, sir, what you don't understand is when my client acted on years of trauma and abuse and almost losing their life, you reach a boiling point. After so much happening to you, you reach a boiling point. My client was at the age where they could defend themselves, that they could stand up against their abuser, against their mother, against their parent, against the one that's supposed to be there, protect them, love them, show them the ways of the world. Damn it, sir, your client did so much that the incidents that happened with my client pale in comparison.
So they're saying that all of these words that my client may or may not have said to your client caused a reaction to where it was justified in her mind to strike her, choking her, by the way. She's choked her before. Just to actually kill her, because of course I understand the ramifications of being mentally and verbally abused. But does that require for you to retaliate in a way that would harm another person?
I believe Sir Isaac Newton said it best, that any, you know where I'm going with this, but the opposite reaction, it's gonna happen.
Any action deserves an equal and opposite reaction.
Thank you, Judge Maul.
Then it was not equal. I'm pretty sure she said some harmful words, but then
as a
your
child,
client jumped at her and tried to choke her out. I don't.
as a
think that
child.
Oh, as a child, I mean, that's different. She could definitely have, done so herself. But maybe this was discipline. Perhaps this was discipline. Perhaps. I would not know because I am not the mother of the child doing whatever. I don't know what the child was doing, being a bad child to the mother. But this could have been.
So
discipline.
you believe that this is discipline, that your client Ren Soma told her child that because no one came in the Soma family and got her when her husband was dying, that this was her fault. You believe that this is discipline from your client telling their child that because they are the god zodiac of the family, that all the other zodiacs are going to leave them just because the father died because she wasn't told. You believe it was discipline that your client decided to come at my client and abuse them from a young age just because they were born a female, sir, it kind of seems that you are supporting a faction that should not be supported.
I can't really see that. But
I believe you're being bribed again from the original case of the Jedis, and you are still under the Jedi mind trick. But, sir, you have to understand here that something is wrong. That your client is not telling you everything that needs to be told. I believe you are representing your client in the form of your office, but not in the form of reality. Sir, you need to open up your eyes here and realize that what your client has done should not be done to any child.
Of course.
That anyone who comes as a mother, anyone who holds that damn title should know that they should love their child as they are. They should bring them up in love and in a safe space. That what your client has done is just downright debauchery.
I don't know if that was the correct word to use.
No, I don't think it was, but I was going on a roll. Let me work.
I was waiting to see if you would go correct yourself.
I really think you should go back and try that again.
What I'm trying to say here is that what your client has done in attempted murder was a reaction to all the things that was brought on as a child. We have seen what happens in the case of Jeffrey Dahmer. We see what happens when parents are neglectful. We see what happens in the case of Akito when parents are just too much involved. Your client has done the worst of the worst. Your client has done things that are unforgivable in this courtroom, that's unforgivable in life. And damn it, it's just unforgivable in general. What your client has done is what no parent should do when they decide to bring another being into this world. And I believe after this, Mr. Mikey, if I can give you some professional and personal advice, go home and take a shower and rethink your thoughts. And change from being a lawyer to being a social content worker. Because it seems like you're better at that job than being a lawyer.
Damn.
I would like to say, for all of that, Cap, there's no real proof that she actually abused her through her childhood all the way up to now. You're talking about all this pain is now justified for her to actually go and attack her? That shouldn't be a thing. She's she, them at this point. He, him, her.
My client does identify as, my client's pronouns are she, her, so we can get this correct in the courtroom.
Thank you. She is the head of the family, so she has all the power to kick the mother out, actually, and to just dismiss her completely. Although, why hasn't she?
Well, I believe when you're traumatically secluded from the rest of the family and you believe that your mother knows all and your mother is telling you things and your mother actually sleeps with the person that you became close with. Yes, your client decided to have sex with your with my client's closest friend just to engage more in this trauma. Yes, this abuse.
She's saying cap. I
don't believe that's cap because I believe we have video proof, but we don't have it in the courtroom today as
Video?
evidence.
I don't want to see child porn, so I'm gonna have to hit you
Well,
with
she's
this.
Not child porn.
No.
Objection!
I don't think she's
This
a child.
was actually
She's 40.
when they were of age.
She's
Okay,
40.
never mind then.
She's
I take
40,
back my objection.
but he was 19. Do the math.
I mean,
And the reason why she did this, ladies and gentlemen of the courtroom, the they, the thems, the he's, the she's, is just to reiterate to her child, my client, that no one will ever love her.
I want to drop my client. She's pettier than I thought. I would never have done that if I had truly known. This is information that she did not tell me. So she's guilty on
listen,
that
those
account.
eyes look crazy. There's one thing I know about a woman with crazy
Do we have
eyes.
another picture of Miss Runsoma? Because I would like to show your client, Mr. Mikey, in another light. Because I will admit, coming from by pride, she's attractive as hell.
That's exactly why I took the case.
Judge Maul, I rest my case. I'm ready for closing statements here.
All right. Moving on to closing argument. So, which I got?
The defendant go first.
What?
Defendant.
He can try. I'm just gonna wrap it up in a nice little bow and go home.
She is a mother who has done the best in her own light for the family that she had. And no family is perfect. No person is perfect. She obviously has plenty of flaws, but she has tried to work through her own flaws. But without her other half that died, she may have been led astray and sunk further and further down. She has problems that she needed help with, but I can't say that the family actually decided to help her. But this is what happens when you are a made straight into the head family because you fell in love. I can't say falling in love isn't a crime, but this is how she is treated as a straight crazy criminal. And I can't really say I see that as much as I did before. But all I can say is that she is a mother who's tried her best, even with all of her failings. But she's still a mother at the end of the day to that child. I'm dead. That's it.
Seemed pretty convincing. All right, plaintiff, what you got?
Ladies and gentlemen of the courtroom, what we have talked about today were many different charges, many different instances in the accused here of Runsoma, but I want you all to know something and one thing only. This woman caused the worst of the worst in her child. So when she brought into this world, someone she is supposed to love and be there for and give joy and give guidance to. But what she chose to do was be evil, be vindictive, be a downright dirty ass dog. Because her child was born a female, because that she just wanted the love of her husband. And I get it. You want your man, you want your woman to love you with all that they can give. But when you decide to lay down in a bed together and have a child, you need to understand that that love is going to be split off. And it's not always going to be about you. So in the charges of attempted murder, extortion, psychological abuse, Mr. Mikey, I believe I'm going to give you my card after this because what you are representing here is not one of a good mother. I would say that in modern history, in the anime longevity that we have been a part of as a Black community, as kids, that she is the worst mother in modern history. Not fantasy, not feudal, not anything else, but in modern history, I believe that Runsoma is the worst mom. And that is where I'm going to rest my case.
Worse than Cersei Lannister?
I said modern and anime. Where are you getting
You're right.
magical
Never mind. My
dragons in here?
bad.
Yeah, we ain't the Targaryen family. Now Cersei, what she did, we can get on that another time because that's
Yeah, nah,
incest
Cersei
and
need
other
her
things.
time in court too.
Mm. But
But
Rensoma is the worst mom in modern anime history. Yep. In 2010, modern history. And any other anime, you can go ahead and date check me with that shit. And also check if there's fantasy involved. But modern fantasy. There we go. Modern fantasy. Because what they could do and turn it into animals shouldn't be happening in real life, but modern fantasy.
all right. Now I will deliberate. Give me a few seconds to think this over. Come back.
You have to, because Mr. Mikey here was a little shaky.
I
Very shaky.
my
He was
client
shaking on
lied.
his client.
I'll admit that my client may have lied about a couple things, but I still
Yeah,
am.
a lot of the time I was sitting there looking at you like this.
Let him fail. Let
Like I
him
was saying,
fail.
my client may or may not have lied to me about a couple things, so there was not much I could do against this. All the
Just like the
information I had to
Jedi.
defend them was bad.
Just like the Jedi. You don't have to change
So,
your
in
stance.
terms of psychological abuse, I'm ruling with the plaintiff. There were numerous instances of psychological abuse from making her disguised as a him, uh, showing that no one's ever going to love you, trying to keep this child away from the love that you would give this child, let alone the child of their parent, the other parent, because you thought that they would love them too much. That's that's crazy. That's
Crazy as
And I'm
hell.
gonna get back to the crazy part, because the mental instability is definitely there. Because you can't place that kind of like mental block and like mental hurt, because that was a lot of hurt, and that was a hurt person hurting someone else. Because good lord, sleeping with your daughter's like lover at
Best
40
friend,
when
by
he's
the way. I'm
19.
sorry. Best friend. They were best friends when she decided, and she knew this. Ren knew this. Sorry.
I mean, the friend shouldn't have took the booty.
Men are dogs, and they belong on a leash. But
No,
I
not at
can neither
all. Because
confirm nor deny that at all. But
depending on where you
listen,
were on that
if my
statement,
best
says a
friend
lot
told me,
about
yo,
you.
my mom used to abuse me, I'm not going to then
I'm
in
not
turn
stable
wait
with.
for my
Yeah,
turn to be able to sleep with the mom.
I don't think that equals out. I'm gonna be honest with you. But who knows? Maybe she was, or maybe he was the one manipulating the mom.
Maybe. But in this case, I'm gonna have to rule with the plaintiff. And a lot of these things, except when it comes to attempted murder, I think I'm gonna have to throw that charge out because it seems as though there was attempted murder on both ends.
I'm
Whereas
okay with
the
that, Judge.
Hey, good news! You're only getting like 40 to life.
So yeah, the psychological abuse, I would definitely have to rule this as Ren Soma is the worst anime mom on this Mother's Day to grace this courtroom. She is the very first anime mom that we've tried, and I will rule her as the worst anime mom on Mother's Day 2024. Now,
Basket though, that's a great ass anime.
I'm not gonna hold you. I've definitely looked into Fruits Basket afterwards, and like the amount, like I've looked into it. I haven't seen it. I haven't like put it on my
But you've
list of
looked
anime
into
to
it.
watch. I still got a bunch of animes. I'm probably gonna get around to it sometime soon, but yeah,
Happy?
man, because like Akito seems like a piece of shit, and like if Ren did that to her to make her that type of like needy control
Yes.
freak type villain,
Now,
that's a piece of shit.
everyone watching, learning this information, go watch Fruit Basket. Even if you watch the 2003 version, go watch Fruit Basket and tell me that Akito is not a bitch, a dick, an asshole. But that's because of what her mama did, Mr. Mikey.
So listen, hurt people, but I'm recommending a lot of therapy all around the board because there should not be this much hurt just going around. And I'm gonna
So
tell
much
everybody out there one more time, Happy Mother's Day. Thanks for joining us on this Mother's Day. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for spending the time to be able to sit here with us and the time that you did. We really appreciate it. Ren's a piece of shit as a mother, so if your mom is anything like that, then like I'm gonna pray for you. But yeah, Ren's the worst mom on Mother's Day, and hopefully to all the moms out there, you're having a great Mother's Day. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to T, thank you to Mikey for being here, celebrating their Mother's Day with me. I just want to take a moment to say Happy Mother's Day to my mom and to my wife, Brittany. Y'all got anything y'all want to say? Any shout outs to your moms or anyone else?
Shout out to
Yeah.
my mom.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to all the moms on HNIC, Gina,
Yes.
Teffy, every mom out there, not on HNIC, just out there killing it on your everyday life. Shout out to all the black moms in my life that I know personally.
Shout out to all the animal moms that appear and take care of all those animals. I am a extreme animal lover. Please take care of your animals. They will in turn take care of you every
If
time.
he
and
sees a
always.
puppy, he will pet it.
Absolutely, and please let me pet your dog and cat and all other animals, please. And every other mom, just happy Mother's Day, please.
Yeah.
Happy
we just
Mother's
wanna-
Day to
Happy Mother's
my
Day.
mom. Shout out for her being a whole ass G in my life. I did this on an original podcast and a different podcast, sorry. But shout out to my mother. Like, she is literally the best mom that I could have ever gotten in my life.
Yeah, shout out to your mom.
And shout out to my ass for dealing with a little shit ass cat, which I love him. But he a little asshole because now he's starting to decide that he don't want his bed in one place and he'll start moving it to like the middle of the fucking hallway. And he black. So you don't see him. You think the bed is empty and you're kicking that shit. But
Shout out to T for not stepping on her cat.
Yeah, shout out to the cat for dodging.
recently.
Well, before T steps on her cat again, we're gonna go ahead and end this one and tell you guys again, Happy Mother's Day. Enjoy your day and tune in for the next one. We'll come back at it with our next episode of Blurred Trap House, and we will see you soon. Hopefully, we see you guys at BlurCon,
Talk
and
about
if
it.
not, T might see you at DreamCon, and if not, me and Mikey will see you at Nightmare Weekend in Richmond. All right,
Please come
y'all. Well,
check
we're
me
gonna
out
see
at
you on the
DreamCon.
next one. Peace. Have a great Mother's Day.